Good morning, guys. Travis Ross with Pacific Safety Solutions. Today I would like to talk about an issue that we've had in this industry for several years now, and we need to address it. The fact that we live in two worlds in this industry. We live in a rigging world, and we live in a fall protection world. Some things we need to know. We need to understand the difference in these two pieces of equipment. First, we can talk about the differences between a rigging sling and a personal anchor sling. First of all, if you look at the personal anchor sling, for fall protection, it gives me a user weight, which tells me I can weigh 420 pounds by OSHA regulations, or I can weigh 310 pounds by ANSI standards. So that right there is a good indication that this is intended for people. If I look at the rating on a rigging sling, it does not give me any user weight at all. It gives me what this thing can hold. It doesn't tell me how much force it can take. It doesn't tell me how much I can weigh in order to use it as fall protection. So that's an indication right there that we should not be using these as fall protection. So another thing we can talk about is the difference in these two things. First, we can start off by talking about a carabiner. A carabiner is rated in kilonewton, which is also a measurement, which basically is a measurement of force. Carabiners have a weak side to it, the gate. Most carabiners' gates are only rated for 3,600 pounds. So could we exceed that in a rigging application? Absolutely. Let me show you how. If you use a carabiner in the improper way, say as if you're using a carabiner for rigging, which we're not supposed to do, but if you are using it as rigging, let me show you how it could potentially fail on you. We need to take a step back and look at what we got. Alright, if we're using a carabiner as a shackle, we need to understand sling angles and sling angle factors. The angle of the sling has a dramatic effect on the tension of the sling. To calculate this is pretty simple. First, you can take the length of the sling divided by the height of the sling. The number you get is the sling angle factor. In this example, we have a 48-inch sling and a 40-inch rise. So divide 48 by 40 and you come up with 1.2. In a rigging world, that's called the sling angle factor. We multiply that sling angle factor times the load that we're lifting. In this case, we have 500 pounds. And right there, we come up with 600 pounds. That's total sling tension. In this example, we have two slings, so we would then divide 600 by 2, and we come up with 300. That tells me that I have 300 pounds of tension on each sling. Let's try another example, and this is a very common rigging mistake that people don't understand, especially if they hadn't taken any type of a rigging class. So let's do this example here. We have a 48-inch sling divided by the height, which in this case is 6. I come up with 8. 8 is my sling angle factor, so I would then multiply 8 times 500, and I get 4,000. Now 4,000 is total sling tension, so I have two slings, so I can divide that by 2. And that tells me I have 2,000 pounds of tension on my slings and on my eye bolts if I'm using eye bolts. But it tells me that I have 4,000 pounds of tension up on my shackle. If I'm using a carabiner, in that case, that's 4,000 pounds potentially on the gate of this carabiner, and it could fail. So basically what we're trying to get across, guys, is use the proper stuff. Use the right gear for the right job. Use this for rigging, and use this for fall protection. If you intermingle them, bad things could happen. It's just like using a crescent wrench as a hammer. Yeah, it works. every once in a while, but it will eventually cause your crescent wrench to fail. We don't want to use this improper, because if this fails, our life is on this. All right. Have a good day, guys.